Hello and welcome to the Student Union and Event Services portion of your RSO Leader training. Throughout this presentation, the acronym SUES will be used to refer to the Student Union and Event Services Department. The Student Union is located on the east side of UNLV's main campus on Maryland Parkway. The Student Union and Event Services office is located on the third floor of the Student Union in room 315. Our main phone number, email, and web address are listed on the screen here as contact options. The purpose of this presentation is to familiarize RSO leaders with common practices, policies, and procedures for planning successful events in SUES managed spaces. We will cover the spaces that we reserve, our reservation process, our pricing and fee structures, and notable policies and procedures. SUES reserves a variety of spaces on campus, including the spaces inside the Student Union. The ballroom, located on the second floor of the Student Union, is the largest space that we reserve. It can be split into 3 smaller sections or left whole for larger scale events, fitting up to 600 plus attendees at a time depending on the setup selected. The Philip J. Cohen Theater on the first floor of the Student Union is also reservable and comes with fixed theater-style seating and a stage. No food and beverage is permitted in this space due to the fixed seating, so additional space may need to be reserved if you are hosting an event with food. We also reserve a variety of small and medium conference rooms on the second floor, which can be configured in layouts that can accommodate up to 48 attendees. The first floor dining area of the Student Union is also reservable during winter, spring, and summer break only. Capacities for each space in the Student Union vary depending on the room and layout selected. Our standard layout options will be discussed later in this presentation. SUES also reserves some of the outdoor spaces on campus, including Pida Plaza, which is located on the north side of the Student Union next to Starbucks, the SU Courtyard, which is located on the south side of the Student Union next to the bookstore, the Alumni Amphitheater, which is equipped with a stage and seating, the Academic Mall, which is the grassy area stretching from the amphitheater to the Performing Arts Center, the Chem Lawn, which is located by the Engineering Buildings and Sidewalk Cafe or Panera, and the WRI Lawn, which is located adjacent to the Academic Mall by the WRI building. Please note that the outdoor spaces on campus go offline for a portion of each semester in order for the UNLV grounds team to maintain and reseed grassy areas. These time blocks will be noted as unavailable in the online reservation portal. An event coordinator will be assigned to any outdoor event, regardless of attendee count, in order to complete required campus notifications. SUES also manages reservations in general purpose classrooms and computer teaching facilities for non-academic purposes. Space can be reserved in CHB, FDH, BEH, HOS, WRI, CEB, HEA, TBE, GUA, and more. Reservations for classroom space cannot be processed until the registrar has finalized academic class scheduling for each semester. Requests will be held in a queue to be processed approximately the second week of the semester in which the request is for, after SUES receives final booking approval from the registrar. Please note that some of the classroom spaces have fixed seating and cannot be adjusted. Additional equipment can be rented from SUES to deliver for an additional charge. All classroom spaces come equipped with a computer that can be accessed with your UNLV ACE account. Classroom technology will assist with any troubleshooting or technical assistance in these spaces. There are also a variety of marketing opportunities that SUES reserves throughout the Student Union and directly outside the Student Union, such as banners, table tents, TV ads, marketing tables, window painting, elevator and bathroom ads, donation boxes, and roll-up banners. The student organization is responsible for the creation, printing, drop-off, and pickup of all printed materials. Printed materials must be dropped off to the SUES front desk in SU 315 by 5 p.m. on the last business day of the week prior to the marketing period. Late materials will not be accepted or placed. If you would like materials returned at the end of your marketing period, please indicate so to the SUES front desk staff upon your drop-off. We will now cover specifics regarding the SUES reservation process. First, You must ensure that you are listed as one of the 2 scheduling liaisons for your organization and the UNLV Involvement Center. This will indicate to SUES that you have been approved by your organization to receive an everyday user account and reserve space on your organization's behalf. A scheduling liaison from your organization must be listed as the primary contact on all reservations. However, the secondary contact does not have to be a scheduling liaison. If you are not listed as a scheduling liaison or need to make edits to your listed scheduling liaisons, please contact the Student Involvement and Activities Office to make updates. Another important element to keep in mind when planning and scheduling your reservation is the event size and scope. This will determine the amount of time needed to process the reservation, as well as any additional processes or steps that will need to be completed. If an event meets any of the below criteria, it will be considered a major event and require an event coordinator assignment to meet and work one-on-one with you to ensure all details are covered. Many of the elements listed below require additional paperwork or insurance coverage, campus notification, or collaboration with additional staff and/or campus partners. Questions regarding each of these topics will be asked on all reservation submissions for SUES staff to review to determine event scale and scope for processing next steps. As mentioned previously, the size and scope of your event will determine the necessary submission timeline to allow sufficient time for processing and event coordination. Reservations that meet any one of the criteria listed on the previous slide will be considered a large or major event and will require submission at least 25 business days in advance of the event date. This will allow our office time to review and process the reservation, assign an event coordinator, and allow you and your event coordinator time to meet and finalize details for campus notifications. Small or medium meetings and events require submission at least 3 business days in advance to allow for time to review and process. Small and medium scale events and meetings will not be assigned an event coordinator and will be managed by the reservations team staff. Cancellation requests must be submitted at least 7 business days prior to the reserved date in order to not be considered late. The late cancellation process will be covered later in this presentation. This allows SUES enough time to process the cancellation and potentially rebook the space before the 3 business day advance notice cutoff. Change requests for a full layout change must be submitted at least 24 hours prior to the reservation. Small changes, such as adding a couple of tables or chairs, can be accommodated day of. Equipment loads and checkouts must be submitted at least 10 business days prior to the event date that the equipment is needed for. Equipment rentals, which are coordinated with a third-party vendor, must be submitted at least 15 business days prior to the date the equipment is needed in order to allow sufficient time to contact the vendor and receive or approve a quote and order. SUES has launched an online reservation portal that allows you to view a live availability, submit reservation requests, and manage current and future reservations. In order to have access to this online portal, you will need to have an everyday user account. You can request an account by visiting our website linked on the screen and submitting the Everyday User Account Request form. Once our office receives your request, we will create your account, linking any organizations that you have indicated you will be reserving on behalf of to your request form. Please note that it will take 24 to 48 hours, not including weekends, for SUES to process your request and create your account. Be sure to take this timeline into consideration when you are planning to submit your reservation request if you do not already have an account. When requesting your account, please note any existing reservations that need to be transferred from a previous user to your account. This will help the transition between organizational leadership changes. Once you have your everyday user account credentials, you will be able to access the online portal to submit and manage your reservations. The portal can be accessed through the link on the screen. This link will also be included in the email SUES sends with your account credentials. Online video guides and a resource guide are also available both on the Everyday User portal and in the credentials email sent upon account creation. When you log in to the online Everyday User portal, you will see a list of reservation templates that you have been given access to, depending on the information you have provided upon requesting your Everyday User account. The template you select will depend on your meeting or event size and scope. We will go over the descriptions for each of these templates in this presentation. The descriptions are also listed in the resource guide mentioned earlier that is both online and attached in the email with your account credentials. RSOs will have access to the Submit an Equipment Checkout Request, Submit an Equipment Loan Request, and Request Equipment from a SUES third-party vendor request forms. These forms will be used when you need additional equipment in a classroom or your reserved space that is not managed by SUES. An equipment checkout request will allow you to reserve equipment to pick up from SUES to take to another location on or off campus. You will be responsible for the pickup and return of these items. An equipment loan request will allow you to reserve equipment that SUES will deliver and pick up from a location that we do not manage on campus. A third-party rental can be submitted when you are looking to reserve equipment that is not in the SUES inventory. SUES will help to coordinate with an external vendor for this request type. Two other templates that RSOs will have access to are the General Purpose Classroom Request form and the Marketing Space Request form. The General Purpose Classroom Request form will be used when you are looking to reserve a classroom space on campus. Please note that the availability listed on this template is not live availability, as it does not link to the system that the registrar uses for academic scheduling. SUES will do our best to place you in the room requested, or will provide you with a comparable room if needed. As mentioned previously, classroom requests can only be processed once the registrar has finalized academic scheduling each semester. So if you submit a request in advance, we will place it in a queue to be processed approximately the second week of the semester which it is for. The Marketing Space Request template can be used whenever you are looking to reserve any of the marketing opportunities that we covered earlier in this presentation. Both the event request templates are to be used when you are looking to reserve a large-scale or major event. The single space template will be used when you are booking a large-scale or major event that will occur in only one space on one date. For example, if you are hosting an event for a few hours in Pida Plaza, you will use this template. The multiple space template will be used when you are booking a large-scale or major event that will either utilize multiple spaces or multiple dates. For example, if you are looking to reserve the ballroom and the pre-function area, or the ballroom and breakout rooms, you will use this template. Outdoor spaces can only be reserved through either of these templates. Lastly, RSOs will have access to the meeting request template. This template will be used when you are looking to book a small or medium meeting or event that does not meet any of the large or major event criteria discussed earlier. For example, if you're looking to reserve space for a workshop or your organization's weekly meetings, you will use this template. This template will allow you to reserve rooms in the student union and is typically the most common template that RSOs submit. When submitting your request forms, please be sure to include as much and as accurate information so that we can best route your request. Please note that availability on the online portal is as accurate as possible but not guaranteed, as we may need to include additional flip time between events depending on setup requirements. A reservation is not confirmed until a reservation summary and quote have been sent from our office. Additional forms may be required for submission depending on event needs. Once you select the appropriate template to use for your request type, you will view a screen similar to the screenshot shown here. After selecting your preferred date, time, and location, an availability grid will show up indicating the available spaces. Your request credentials will be indicated by the two red bars shown on the availability grid. Please note the spaces show based on capacity requirements. It is important to fill out the setup type and number of people you are looking to host under the Let Me Search for a Room drop-down menu, which is highlighted in red. This information will help to narrow down the spaces shown or will populate larger spaces depending on capacity requirements. If a space is available to be reserved for your event, a green plus sign will appear next to the room number. Once you select the green plus sign next to the room you are looking to book, it will be added to your reservation request. Once you select the space you are looking to reserve, you will click Next Step in the upper right corner to finish your submission. The next page will allow you to select the equipment and audio-visual equipment you will need for your reservation, as well as any staffing that you may need. The page after that will require you to input event details such as date, reserving group, contact information, and required informational questions that will help our team best process your request and determine if it is major or large scale. Once you have completed all the necessary information, you can select Create Reservation, and our team will be notified to begin the review process. When logged into the Everyday User online portal, you can manage reservation requests and current or future reservations by selecting My Events on the left side of the screen. That will take you to a screen that looks similar to this screenshot. Your reservations will be listed as depicted here in order of booking dates. The status of your request listed on the right side will indicate where the reservation process for your event is. A list of the potential statuses and their meanings is included in the resource guide available on the online portal and included in your account credentials email. If you are looking to make changes or updates to any of your reservations, or are looking to cancel any of your spaces or dates, you can click on the reservation and it will take you to a more detailed outline of your reservation. On the screen shown here, you can select Booking Tools, which is highlighted in red, to make edits, such as adding or removing equipment or adjusting times, dates, or rooms. If you would like to cancel your whole reservation, you can select Cancel Reservation, which is highlighted in blue. If you would like to cancel a single booking, such as a specific room or date, you can select the red Remove button next to that booking, which is highlighted in yellow. As mentioned earlier in this presentation, SUES has some standard setups that you can select from when reserving your room that will help with determining capacity of your selected room. Custom setups or room diagrams can be created as well. The shown setups have been created for ease of booking and planning. SUES has a fee and pricing structure set in place that categorizes reservations based on the group that is booking the space or services. RSOs will receive a 50% discount on any equipment reserved through an equipment loan or checkout. However, there are delivery or checkout fees that apply to the reservation depending on the type and quantity of equipment. For equipment rentals through a third-party vendor, equipment is charged at the vendor's retail rate and will be assessed a 12% management fee. For marketing reservations, RSOs receive a 100% discount unless it is partnered with a department or external entity and are responsible for the cost of materials. For academic classrooms, RSOs receive a 100% discount on space, but will be charged the rates mentioned above for any additional equipment through a loan, checkout, or rental. Most RSO reservations will fall under Tier 1 discounting structure, as this is the rate that is applied to RSO reservations that are not partnered with a UNLV department or external entity. Reservations at this tier will receive a 100% discount on room rental, setup, and audiovisual equipment. A 75% discount will apply to any specialty items such as pipe and drape, custom lighting, and outdoor equipment. Personnel such as setup or AV staffing will not be discounted at any tier. Reservations with one or more RSOs involved in the planning and execution process will fall under this tier as well. Tier 2 discounting will apply to any RSO reservations that are partnered with a UNLV department, excluding student life departments, which fall into Tier 1 discounting. Reservations under this tier will receive a 90% discount on the room rental and a 75% discount on setup and AV equipment and specialty items. Reservations under this tier may be subject to a 12% management fee depending on the level of involvement from the UNLV department and the size and scope of the event. Tier 3 discounting will apply to any RSO reservations that are partnered with an external entity that is not affiliated with UNLV. Reservations under this tier will receive a 50% discount on room rental and a 75% discount on setup and AV equipment and specialty items. Reservations under this tier may be subject to a 12% management fee depending on the level of involvement from the external entity and size and scope of the event. Partnerships should be disclosed when reserving your space on the online Everyday User portal. A question will be asked on all reservation templates to indicate partnership with another group for your reservation and will ask for the name and type of organization that you are partnering with. SUES defines a partnership as another group being involved in the planning, execution, and payment of a reservation. Examples of a partnership would be working with the national organization to host a regional or national conference on campus, working with an external group to promote their services or products, working with a department to host an event directly related to their research or function, or working with another student organization to plan a collaborative event or social. Examples of a reservation that would not be considered a partnership would be having an external group or speaker presenting to your organization for membership education or development, but they are not directly involved in the planning, execution, or payment of your event. If you have any questions or are unsure if your event falls under a partnership, feel free to reach out to the SUES main office and we will be happy to talk through your event with you. SUES has recently updated our billing process to help with payment collection. All reservations will be reviewed after the last booking occurrence to ensure that any day of adjustments or additions are accounted for. If a reservation does not have any charges associated with it, it will be changed to no charge status in the system and no further action will need to be taken. If an event does have charges associated with it, it will be reviewed for accuracy, then transitioned to the SUES billing team. The billing team will send over an email to the reserving party with the final reservation summary and an invoice for any charges. Instruction for payment will be included in this email as well. Invoices issued by SUES are due within 30 days of the invoice date, and clients are responsible for submitting payment by the listed due date. If payment is not received within 30 days after the invoice date, the organization will be prohibited from making any additional reservations until the outstanding balance is paid in full. Overdue balances exceeding 60 days will receive a final notice requesting immediate payment. If the balance is not paid at or before 60 days, the organization will continue to be prohibited from booking any additional reservations, and any current or future reservations will be canceled until payment is made. An important service to keep in mind as an RSO leader is the SUES priority scheduling period. SUES permits reservations on a one academic year basis to ensure that RSOs with transitioning membership have first access to utilize spaces and marketing opportunities that are funded through your student fees. Currently, we are accepting reservations through August 23rd, 2026. Each spring semester, approximately the week of the semester resumes after spring break, priority scheduling will open up for the next academic year. Organizations will be able to submit reservations during this time for the upcoming academic year. Please ensure that your organization's involvement center page is up to date, including the listed scheduling liaisons for ease of booking. Another SUES policy that is important to keep in mind is the late cancellation, late show, and no-show policy. If an event is not canceled at least 7 business days prior to the event date, the reserving party does not show up within 15 minutes of the scheduled access start time, or does not show up at all, an infraction will be counted towards the group. Each group is allowed up to 4 infractions each semester and that will follow this structure. The first infraction will result in a warning letter. The second infraction will result in a warning letter and a fee. The third infraction will result in another warning letter and another fee. And the fourth infraction will result in a final notice letter, a fee, and all remaining reservations for that semester will be canceled. The organization will not be permitted to reserve additional space or marketing until the following semester. This process is counted on a semesterly basis and will reset at the beginning of each semester. There are a number of university policies and risk management requirements that all meetings and events held on campus must follow. Your event coordinator will meet with you to explain relevant policies and requirements for your planned event. Listed here are some links to websites with many of the applicable policies. Some considerations include guidelines for outdoor events related to amplified sound or prohibiting camping overnight. If security is deemed necessary for your event, RSOs will be responsible for security charges. Likewise, depending on the risks associated with the planned event, the university may require RSOs provide additional event insurance. Please see the RSO mandatory training called RSO Responsibilities that includes information on the risk management matrix utilized to assess and mitigate risks for events. Thank you for watching the SUES RSO Leader Training. If you have any additional questions or concerns, or would like to speak to a staff member regarding your reservation or event, please feel free to contact us through the avenues listed on this screen. Thank you.